What's the most "are you really that stupid" thing you've ever heard? I work at an animal shelter and a woman asked me if we had any dogs that didn't poop. I told her no. All dogs poop. So she asked about cats. Yes. But we can only match them with the humans that don't poop either. Is this something you're in the habit of doing? A woman once asked me if Antarctica was really hot. Because Mexico is south of us and it's really hot. And other countries are south of us and they're really hot too. This woman was 40 years old. Well, it is a desert. In high school, when this girl found out prisoners used to be sent to Australia, she said that's stupid. They could just swim back to Europe. To be fair, anyone who actually manages to swim from Australia to Europe deserves to live. Thanks for the silver stranger. I remember sitting in a World Civ class in high school and a girl in my class asked how people outside of the US lived. Since they were in a desert, the teacher tried to have her clarify. Which desert? To which the girl responded with, the one outside the US. She was convinced that every single nation outside of the US was comprised solely of deserts and that any major cities she had heard of, that is, London, Paris, etc., were actually US cities. Flesh it out and I'd probably buy that as a RPG. Freedom Land. Cause everything else is hot sand. During a color war trivia game at summer camp, we were asked to name places the Olympics has been held. Someone mentioned Athens and the girl next to me started to lose her mind laughing. I asked her why and she responded, "Isn't Athens that place from Harry Potter? 10/10. Edit. I love that this turned into a Greek economy discussion thread. The internet works in mysterious ways. What place from Harry Potter did she think she was referring to? Azkaban? I did my waiting. 12 years of it. In Athens. Someone in high school thought she couldn't get pregnant because she never did anal. Only piff sex. When questioned about it, it made perfect sense to her. Because the vagina isn't where the babies come from. She thought women pooped out babies. While in high school sex ed, I heard a student ask the teacher if I pee inside her, she won't get pregnant because it'll kill the sperm. Teacher said something like, first of all, no, that doesn't work. Second, who would let you pee inside them? Second, who would let you pee inside them? Someone in the back sheepishly raises her hand. When I worked at a call center and someone said Q for cucumber to me. Cucumber. Thanks for calling customer support. You are currently number 43 in the queue. Cumber. Edit. This comment got me my first Reddit silver. Ha. Unexpected. Thanks. : Blowing balloons up with my own air, no gas etc. with my wife prior to a party. Wife. No. Don't blow the balloons that fall to the floor. Blow up the floating balloons. Me. Look of disbelief. What? You need to use helium for that? Wife. No. You're just not bothering. That's what it is. Dude, stop being an a-hole. Just blow helium for her. Can your lungs not create that? All you have to do is go hee 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 when you do it. There's always a 50% chance of rain. Think about it. It will either rain or it won't, so that's gotta always be 50%. This is why I always play the lottery. Either I win or I don't. That's 50%. I haven't won yet though. Which is somewhat surprising given the odds. You're unlucky. Buy 2 tickets. 50% plus 50% is a 100% chance of winning. I'm late, but my mother once years ago said cats are cold-blooded because they like to lay in the sun. We immediately said, what? No, did you go to school? 4 or 5 months ago she doubled down on this, stating the exact thing for the exact reason. I told her, are you cold-blooded because you like to sunbathe? She still thinks cats are cold-blooded. A previous co-worker of mine thought that when looking at images of hurricanes, what she was seeing was the ocean swirling and not clouds. She had a bachelor's degree. Can you imagine how ducked we would be if she was right? I asked her what she thought happened once they made landfall. All I got was a blank stare. My 22-year-old niece said she didn't want to see a female gynecologist because she would turn into a lesbian after the doctor examined her. Girl I used to date was convinced that used cars came with insurance. We went out to look at cars for her one weekend, and on the way to the first lot, it came up in conversation. She absolutely did not believe me to the point that it was almost an argument. Salesman told her the same thing. So she demanded we go to another dealership. We visited 4 dealerships that day and all of them told her the same thing. Relationship didn't last much longer. But earlier this year she was pulled over and arrested for a litany of offenses including a DUI. But surprise, she had no auto insurance. You have to write her and ask if she was driving a used car. While in a really long car trip with my parents, we were discussing countries we'd like to visit. My mother said she'd like to visit Japan to see the Great Wall of China. My dad and I don't let her forget. In high school during global studies we were talking about South America and this chick asked which country was Africa. Even being told it's a separate continent and shown on a map, she continued to argue for 20 minutes saying it was a small country in South America. I once heard a girl say that she doesn't believe in miscarriages. Edit. Another good one is that if she asks is something gluten free, she asks is that gluten? Meaning the exact opposite. She also said she is going to become a Navy SEAL. She is not in the Navy. We were out of state and she said, oh wow. Wild cows. They were not wild cows. Does she think a miscarriage is just the same thing as an abortion? Like it's done on purpose? Or just that they don't actually happen? They're a myth? My sister's friend, who is 22, believes that while you fly in an airplane, once you are in the air you just levitate there and the earth rotates under you. When the plane is over the destination the plane lowers again and that's what happens. She wants to be a teacher. I had a customer yell at me that their donuts were supposed to be buy one get one free instead of half price. I had to explain how 1/2 plus 1/2 was 1. Never understood it and just sneered whatever at me and had me cancel their order. Sure. My mistake. I can refund you the $3.99 and ring you up with the correct discount. Okay. With the discount your new total is $3.99. Edit. I regret my choice of $3.99 to illustrate the technique. When I worked in fast food I had a couple that wanted me to apply 2 senior citizen discounts to their meals because there were 2 of them. Could not get them to understand that the discount applies itself to the total order. So they very cleverly decided every time they came in they would order and pay separately. They shall have their 2 discounts and no one could stop them. Funny thing was ordering that way made their total come out a couple cents more expensive than if they had just ordered the 2 meals on one ticket, so I got my cheap satisfaction. I knew a guy in high school who thought, in Asian women only, that the urethra, vagina, and anus were arranged horizontally. Something like leg, urethra, vagina, anus, leg. He was stunned when we went over female anatomy during our senior year. That's the second comment I seen here where someone thought Asians have horizontal parts. I'm wondering where this is from honestly. It's a very old racist joke that's been around forever. Presumably these guys were told this as a joke one time and never questioned it. Someone in my freshman year college class. Professor, do you think dinosaurs existed? Professor, there seems to be a lot of evidence in favor of that conclusion. What do you think? Someone. I don't think they did. I mean, how do we know they were called dinosaurs? They could have been called anything. My friend thought due to time zone differences between the US and the UK you could place a bet in the UK on an NFL game that had happened in the US and cheat the system because it hadn't happened yet in the UK. I was driving with my mother on a pitch black night. My mother said the stars went out because there was no moon for them to reflect off of. Love you mom. The idea that the moon is a gigantic disco ball for stars seems pretty fun. Someone once asked me and my twin sister if we don't mistake ourselves for the other one. I like to think she was joking but I don't think she was. I've posted this before. But my grandmother was an identical twin. Her sister passed away before I was born. She didn't like to tell stories from when she was little. But she did tell me one mistaken identity story. She was in their bedroom one night when they were really young and saw her sister through the window. She started talking to her sister to see why she was outside at night. Then she realized it was her reflection. My grandmother had mistaken herself for her twin. My best friend has actually accidentally called me by her own name. So I can at least see something like that happening. Ever hear of those shitty free online IQ tests? My friend took one of these, but the one she took was even worse than the regular ones. It was obviously not a valid IQ test and probably made by either a 12-year-old, a drunk person, or a drunk 12-year-old. Anyways, one question was, what is your favorite food out of these 4? Which was already a really bad question. I didn't think it would get worse until I saw what do you think of the iPhone? I don't remember the 4th option. But out of I love the iPhone. It's good technology. And what's an iPhone? The smartest choice was what's an iPhone? Ridiculous. Your IQ is higher by being ignorant of the world around you. Anyways, to the main point. She got a high score and put it on her resume. I unfortunately can't find the IQ test. TLDR. Girl takes shitty inaccurate online IQ test. Gets a high score. Puts it on her resume. Pretty sure I'd immediately reject anyone who put their IQ on a resume. Real score or not. They're either idiots and trying to compensate or hide it. Or they're really proud of that score and you probably won't hear the end of it. Best comment of the day. I have a friend who was born in Vietnam. Another friend of hers thought that the textile industry wasn't as harmful to Asians as it would be to white people because weren't they used to it? My Asian friend was not amused. The same friend also thought that child labor was better than children doing nothing at home in poor countries if they couldn't go to school.